anthropology was really essential at kind of helping me, it still is, and helping me to kind of go do a lot of the work that I still do. I use it when I'm interviewing people a lot, what's interesting about them, what's important, what they're saying, all of these sort of small like things that you're picking up all the way through your course about, I mean, it's really just a way of seeing the world, basically. Like when you finish your degree, you're going to be completely able to look at everything in a different way, and that's just so vital. So for instance, one of the pieces of work that I've most used my degree for is that and what I'm most proud of is I ended up ghostwriting the memoirs of a North Korean defector. And the only way that I was able to do that was because I'd had ethnographic training, and I knew exactly how to get into this ethnographic and investigative mode to be able to ask her questions, which other people wouldn't have been able to get down to. They wouldn't have really been able to strip down and look into and think, this is really important, we need to know this. But in order to get that answer, we're going to have to ask her A, B, C, D, E, and then only then are we going to be able to put everything together to create a really like strong manuscript of all of her life. So definitely don't think that don't think the degree is useless. You're 100% going to use it in whatever you do. You'll do such completely different things. I'd worked as a video producer on the Metro. That's the free newspaper that you get on the tube. And that was one of the first times I'd kind of really properly worked producing video content for online, the kind of like newsroom scenario. Whereas before I'd spent a lot of time taking my own pictures and filming my own things, or writing my own articles and then selling them from the outside. And that was a kind of really interesting change to actually be able to see how things worked inside and be able to kind of get involved in that sort of fast-paced adrenaline lifestyle. Before I started that, I had officially trained to become a journalist, and I'd become NCTJ accredited. NCTJ exams are basically the sort of journalism exams, and I'd done that when I was training with the Press Association, which is the UK's newswire. It's like AFP or Reuters, but you do not need to do that if you don't want to. It's not like accounting where you do have to do the exams in order to get to the other side. All you need to do is just go talk to people, ask them why they want that. In reality, you don't need to do it. Only if you want to, only if you think it's going to help you to get to a particular position, which is kind of what I wanted. I did it because it helped me to sort of refocus myself a bit. I'd done like so many different things before that, and I kind of wanted a little bit of focus. I wanted to work in a newsroom. I wanted to work in like a fast-paced environment. I thought I maybe wanted to work with newswires, and I thought, well, if I train with one, then maybe I can get a job with one. Didn't happen, but I still got the training, and that's, if you want to do that, you can do one through taking a master's. You don't need to do one if you don't want to do one. I just really want to hammer this home, because loads and loads of people I have to do it. If I want to become a journalist, I've got to be accredited, I've got to be trained. And I don't think at all it helped me to get my job at the BBC. I think it did help me to get my job at the Metro, but not at all, didn't help me to get where I am today. I think what mostly helped me to get where I am today is the fact that I'd done so many different things after I graduated, so that when I came and I went to talk to a lot of the producers who were already working at Newsnight, I was able to I just had so much to offer already. I've done loads of different things with loads of different outlets, and I'd sold loads of different types of my work. For instance, before the EU referendum, I travelled the country filming MPs about what they thought about what was going on. I worked on a 7-part documentary about Saudi Arabia. I worked as a researcher for the Economist's Films Unit. I did so many different things, which meant that by the time I sort of got to that stage, I was able to come with lots of different skills. Like I knew how to film, I knew how to edit, and I could already write, which if you want to be a journalist, is really, really, really important. But I assume you already know how to do that. But I already knew I had like lots of different experience, which definitely like put me on the right direction.